police officers are good guys just doing their job. Now these police officers have a hard time making a quick decision because of the negative coverage they get from the media, which could cost them their lives. Well, the police cost black people their lives all the time as well, so that's that on that. Views are my own. If you don't like them, you can kick rocks, mate. Breaking news. This just in, coming in live. Being anti-police isn't new. Back to you in the studio, Tom. Social media has given us a 4K HD insight into police brutality and corruption that have been at the center of debates and conversations for decades. Sure, we're talking about the problems in the police more than ever, but that seems to be the only change. Is it time we stop talking about the problems and abolish the police altogether? In a year alone, we've seen police fail to search for missing teenagers and even commit murder. There are serious crimes that we all need protecting from, but we don't need more officers on the street scaring people.
Hello, and welcome to How Not to Be Racist, the game show. The show that you need when you've used the I have a black friend too excuse too many times. Our lovely guests here today look like the pinnacle of wokeness, as the kids say. Right, tell me, how many infographics on BLM did you post in 2020?
Like 5?
Not good enough. I will have you know I posted almost 30, one for every member of NSG. Right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Finish my sentence. All policemen are...
Pigs.
Violent.
Oppressive? Corrupt.
No. I would have you know the answer is all cops are addicted to donuts. 1 in every 10 police officers sneaks off to their car to gobble down a full box of donuts. It's breaking their friendships apart. It's breaking their families apart. It's breaking their belts apart. Please donate to the ACAATV today.
The murder of George Floyd at the hands of US police officer Derek Chauvin in 2020 led to the biggest rise in momentum for the Black Lives Matter movement. There were protests, rallies, and marches all over the world, with thousands shouting to defund the police. But this isn't just an American problem. Racial profiling and police brutality happens all over the world. Yes, even in the UK. Monuments that celebrate Britain's colonial past, like the famous Winston Churchill statue covered in bird poo in Parliament Square, were boarded up and given protection from some of the force's most dedicated officers. Are you guys bored or something? Where is the energy for protecting black people who are actually alive? What do you think about the police?
I don't like the police. I don't think the police like me too much, so.
I don't think the actual idea of police is bad, it's the actual execution. In theory, great. In execution, bad.
I would like to walk down the street at night and see a policeman and not fear for my life.
I don't think all police is bad.
Some form of law and order is needed.
There are vulnerable people who can't protect themselves, and so someone has to.
Training is always key. People are going to hate me for saying this, but sometimes people aren't racist, they're just incredibly ignorant.
Even if the police were to change and things were to get better, people would still carry that stigma.
The only thing that can be done to really fix it is to dismantle the whole thing and then start from scratch.
So should we just scrap it all together? What would that even look like? Get in, girl. We go into abolition, baby. Beep, beep. Ah! So, what is abolition and what does it provide that reform simply doesn't? Contrary to what we're taught, most people don't commit crime because they're bored. Criminality isn't a biological trait. To me, calling for the abolition of police is about recognizing that so many policies on things like drugs, homelessness, and mental health are categorized as criminal justice issues. Wouldn't it make more sense for our social welfare systems to handle them? Is it so wild for me to say it's better to invest in services that actually improve our lives than the ones that are risking them? In England, black people are stopped 9 times more than white people, but black people are no more likely to commit crime than anyone else, and they're not predisposed to crime. And while we're here, black on black crime is not a thing, people. Let's face it, you and I know that black communities are over-policed and underserved when it comes to government support. Why don't we take all that money they get and give it to services that actually help to reduce the causes of crime, like youth clubs and social services and housing and free meals for kids living in poverty? Defunding the police might sound kooky, but free healthcare was once a wild idea, so was a living wage, and women being educated. These things always feel impossible until they actually happen, and you realize they're for the greater good. So watch out, coppers, your days are numbered, and you have the right to remain abolished. Bitch!